You can, if I'll show you outside my window, but it's just a Wendy's.
Oh.
So it's not as cool.
Looking good, buddy.
What's up,
Thanks,
Dave? You know
look
Chuck?
good, Dave.
Yes.
We shook hands once.
I figured I
hugged.
wasn't sure. I don't know.
Did we hug?
Were you wearing? Yeah. What were you? Yeah. We hugged in summer league for sure.
Yeah, I hand out hugs.
So do I.
Yeah, it's pretty reasonable way for me to say hello to somebody I know from the internet. So, but yeah, we're both in hotels. What are you eating, Dave?
That is a ham and cheese croissant.
Oh, sounds like content.
See, yeah, let's save
Smells like content.
We got to talk about walking.
Yeah, talk about walking too. Are you guys both ready? We can start. I mean, we can get this.
I'm ready.
All right.
Do you want me to record?
If you could, because on Sunday our internet skipped a few times on my end.
Yeah, I have no problem. Just want me, or you want the whole thing?
Just record your end.
Okay.
I should get everything else fine. All right, here we go.
Yep.
All right, and welcome to Fast Break Breakfast NBA podcast. My name is Keith Parrish, here once again with my buddies through the miracle of computer phone. I'm here with Chuck Anderson.
Hey now.
And with Dave DUFOUR. Dave, how's it going?
It's great. It's awesome.
Glad to have you as a guest host. You've been on the show dozens of times.
Almost as much as I have.
Right. You're basically the same amount as Chuck.
This will be my first full length appearance. So,
it's different. You are not, we're not asking you questions. You're now in charge of delivering content. You can't just sit back, kick your feet up. Let me drive the ship. No, you're here to contribute.
Now hang on. You're a podcast that assigns pre-work. Like you send out a syllabus.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. No, every time.
No, well, I mean, Dave, I'm a professional.
You're prepared. You are.
I mean,
it's true. Sure.
Also, Dave, I do give you guidelines. I don't want you to mess it up. That's just how.
That's fair. I mean, especially somebody like me.
Right.
Really, the rundowns are for me, so I can write my 4 or 5 funny things, and then let John and Keith talk about VORP.
Right. We like to do a little bit of VORP, a little bit of PER, a little bit of wins over Josh Smith being waived, J-Smooth VORP. Also I've started having to do the pre-rundowns because, I mean, John and Chuck are industrious, creative individuals who maybe don't always want to listen to the Thursday show. So we got to make sure there's no overlap. Sometimes there's overlap, I'm like, that's been covered. So we just don't want to, we got to keep the listener in mind.
I wanted to make fun of Russell Westbrook or feel bad about Russell Westbrook getting made fun of in Sacramento. It turns out you did it with CJ Toledano. And
right.
Now I got to go listen to it.
Yeah.
Giving me more homework.
Here's the hint.
Listen, I listen to this podcast when I'm out walking. It's perfect. So,
by the way, we have to get to the walking talk just a little bit. But continuing on the theme that I spoke with CJ Toledano about, Russell Westbrook continues not turning the basketball over. He's posted over a 7-to-1 assist to turnover ratio in his last 5 games, but he can't shoot. He's rookie year Jason Kidd without the burst. He's a non-shooter. He's shooting 27%. He's lost his power. He's not turning the ball over. He can't play. He needs a reckless abandon.
He's a bad shooter who got the yips.
Yeah.
Does he have only a certain amount of magic he can use in certain parts of his game, and he's effectively focused everything on not turning the ball over?
He's your Fallout character where you have to assign a specific number of attributes. You have to choose if you want awareness or health or you got to choose. He also maybe has a slightly fragile psyche, and if you yell at him, don't screw up, that maybe has affected his game. It's like the time Chuck tried to order a pizza in the early days of Fastbreak Breakfast, and John and I were just staring at him like, do not screw this up. Do not screw this up. And you fumbled the bag. You told the guy, we said to ask for a deal. And instead of asking for a deal, you said, how much should this pizza cost?
What?
Just charge me what you think this pizza should cost.
In my defense,
you
I
fumbled
was
the bag.
very stoned. That was pretty
a
much
pre-sober,
the highest I've ever been around you, Keith.
So really, this is a story about Keith and John making a poor decision by putting you in charge of ordering the pizza.
Why would you ever let the high guy?
This is poor leadership.
Yeah.
I had to see how far Chuck could extend himself. I had to give him the playing time. I'm the Grizzlies allowing Zaire Williams. Just go out there and shoot and do some stuff, and let's see what happens. I had to know how far Chuck could go before now I email him before the show and I say, you say these things.
Yes. A guy that would mess that up. I feel like you should have known ahead of time. That's the guy that you say, hey, should we get cheese sticks? and that's the decision. And it's like,
I know that now. I know just to give prompts.
And you want 0.5 on that one, right? Mm-hmm. If he immediately says yes, all right, cool. Okay, so now we start
in my head, I'm building a utopian society at all times. Mm-hmm. Why am I messing with cheese sticks and pizza?
Well, you didn't bring anything to barter with, so you failed the initial test, right? Like,
so Chuck, on last week's episode, you talked about how you have an annual goal of miles, or you hit whatever some mile.
300 miles hiked. That's not even walk. That's
awesome. I have terrible news. Dave, I'm not going to say he has.
No. I don't want to do that.
He doesn't have a one-upper's personality, but he would like to one-up your story.
I don't want to one-up it. Actually, no, I don't want to one-up it because I loved it. I actually, when he talked about discovering the joys of walking, I was pumped. I was on a walk when you did it. I resisted the urge because I don't like to I like to set the pods up or music or whatever, and then not touch my phone. Mm-hmm. And
so you hear the ads. Right. You hear the ads.
Oh, I listen. Well, I use Siri pretty well. So I just say skip ahead a minute and a half. And if it's still Keith, selling tickets.
He's still talking about the eye shop. He's still talking about the bad shooting. 901-888-HOOP. Get them Grizzlies tickets.
Yeah. So skipped ahead or whatever. But no. I loved it. I don't want to one up. But I was expecting a much larger number because of the way you had built the story up. Like when you said, because I know the Apple Watch is hilarious. Number one, they don't believe in days off.
No, they don't
ever. Right. It is a hell. And I wear an Apple Watch just because it's a good watch, but it's nice for tracking stuff, but that's funny. But the goal setting on this thing is absolutely absurd. I just want to say I work out too much, and really it's all moderate exercise. So it's just a lot of it, but I walk like 8 to 10 miles a day.
Damn.
It's just, it takes like 2 hours. It's fun. I enjoy it. And I'm left alone either with my thoughts or with my friends doing their basketball podcast. And so, I racked up, I don't know, it was like 2,000 miles or something last year. And so I was just thinking about the way that it set goals for me. It really did get to, I walked like 250 miles one month, and the next month it was like, oh, hey, try 320. It assumes that you are just Forrest Gump, and that if you just start, you're never gonna.
You're like, hey, why don't you? Hey, guy, why don't you walk 14 miles a day? That seems like a thing you should do now.
I mean, it's good for you. I walked 10. I did 8 miles this morning over. I'm in Colorado Springs. I did over in the Garden of the Gods, and then I did a couple of miles around downtown, and it's just, it's awesome. It's great to be outside, man.
It's perfect. I picked it up in the pandemic, and I looked at my health app on my iPhone. 4.7 miles a day average last year, but that's good, not man. Hiking. See, I have a whole thing about what a hike is, and it was with my significant other, and we went to parks and we went up mountains. So like the hike,
you weren't eating meat, so it was more difficult.
Staying away from carbs today. You'll find out what my breakfast is today.
So Chuck, when you said you hiked 300 miles, I was astounded. I was not David. That seemed like a huge number. I don't know. Really I don't know how many miles people are supposed to walk. It's like when they said, "Hey, in Klay Thompson's 60-point game, he dribbled the ball 11 times." I was like, "Oh, is that high? Is that low?" How many times does the guy dribble in a game? Hadn't thought about context, it.
Right?
All about context. I'm impressed. Even if Dave did come on the show, he came on the show just to tell you he walked 1,700 more miles than you. He asked to come on the show to do this.
Yeah. I mean, so it was like 125 hours walked, hiked. This is different from the walk. So it was a lot. It's like 3 full work weeks.
So that number, when you said that number, it seemed low. I can't wrap my head around these numbers. I don't know how to apply them to my life where I am very sedentary.
Yes, Keith, I don't know how you're thin.
Haven't done.
It doesn't make sense.
A whole lot. I don't treat my
Every
body
time
well.
I talk to Keith, he's like, "Man, I tried this really sugary new cereal."
Oh man, I've been trying some candies. This could be my breakfast. We haven't done our breakfast. My breakfast. It's Valentine's Day candy season. There's always a new candy season at the grocery store. It's far inferior to Easter candy season. Easter candy season, I mean, praise be, it's the best one. The jelly beans become incredible. No, Valentine's Day, they have a bunch of weird ones, and there was a new one out there I wanted to try. It was a Sour Patch Kid candy heart, like your classic. You know, you have your classic candy hearts with the little messages. Then you have the sweet tart hearts, which are like iconically good. And then Sour Patch Kids are incredible. But I'm like, let's see what your little hard candy is, your little Valentine's Day only edition. Inedible. It's chalky, tastes like detergent. It's like it's a cleaning product flavor. It's horrifying. And once again, I'm struck with, why would the good folks at Sour Patch Kids put their name on this? It's like when Starburst releases mini Starburst. You're like, Starburst, iconic candy brand. Why are you putting your name on these things that taste gross? I don't understand it. I would love to get a candy consulting gig, but anyway, that honestly, that was my breakfast. Was the
that would be like,
I'm trying to think of stuff that's not chocolate, that's sort of Valentine's specific, you know, like the candy hearts.
Candy hearts,
of course, you got candy corn at Halloween. Is there like a cinnamon heart? Am I remembering this?
You can turn anything into a heart.
I like weird candies. Like
I'm not into. It's the hearts with the words on.
That's
right. So like be mine.
Well, that's the iconic one. Yeah.
Oh, other than that one. So see.
Yeah, that literally was made from, you know, I don't know. I mean, we're all about the same age. Do you guys ever get eraser duty?
I'm not sure what that is. No.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you know, eraser duty. You had to go.
Eraser duty. Your job is to erase.
No, your job is to clean the erasers.
Slap those erasers.
This is on a blackboard.
Oh, gotcha.
Right.
Yeah.
So you take you went and collected. This was I think this was a punishment, and you had to collect all the erasers. And there was an eraser cleaner that you would put the erasers in.
Really?
Right. And actually what they do is they collect all the dust from those, and that's what they make the candy hearts out of.
That's what they made that.
You just went outside and put in like effort. You were
sweating. You hit it against the brick wall.
In the Florida sun.
Yeah,
hold on.
You banged it against the brick wall.
Guys, now hold on. We all went to high school in the late 90s. We had whiteboards.
Right.
No, we did not. No, we still had.
Right. I only had whiteboards in science and language class. Yeah.
Yeah. What was Chuck? What was your breakfast? You were saying you wanted to get to a very unhealthy meat-filled breakfast.
I'm on a new kick. I'm getting into the intermittent fasting and taking it to the new extreme. I'm doing a 48-hour fast. I'm in deep ketosis right now. I peed on a strip. It told me what my ketone levels were.
You pregnant?
I am 6 weeks.
Congrats, buddy.
Yeah. Can't wait to tell the father, when I figure out who he is. But yeah, that's my new thing. I had nothing. I had water and a coffee from a Love's for breakfast.
Hey,
and I've drank, like, I got my double Yetis. I'm just filling these up at gas stations and just like hydrating, staying just on the hydration. Just water. And I feel great. No, nothing. Just coffee. Just coffee. Nothing with calories in it.
Yeah.
I don't know about this,
I feel great.
This hat you're wearing, which you know,
that's for the YouTube viewers. Yeah, Chuck.
You guys don't like my hat.
Also, Chuck is in a hotel room somewhere.
Yeah, it is.
I know that's not a Chuck's. Chuck, where are you at now?
I'm in Oak Ridge.
Oak Ridge. Oh, did you hit up your favorite hibachi grill?
No, because I'm fasting.
Oh, that's too bad. Did you go by Gore Verbinski's house?
No.
Isn't he the one who's from Oak Ridge? Because his father was a
He's the only
scientist.
other one from Oak Ridge.
Yeah.
Him
Anyway,
and Megan Fox.
And Megan Fox, exactly. Dave, you're on the road. Okay. I know. Where are you at right now? And what was your breakfast?
So I'm in Colorado Springs, and I every time I come on this show, Keith, I never have a breakfast for you.
Yeah,
ever.
That's because I don't normally text you and tell you have to have something, but this time I did. Yeah.
Right. Well, now I still didn't really have what you would call like breakfast. Like I didn't eat a breakfast food, but for lunch I had a shepherd's pie. It was it was noon. It was delicious. It was fantastic. I had a shepherd's pie, had a nice little beer up in the mountains after hiking this morning. It was awesome. So that was my breakfast.
Well, that sounds tremendous.
And
that's a wonderful break to the fast.
I just ate a ham and cheese croissant, and yet the microphone didn't pick it up because I hit mute.
God, you're so good at this.
If somebody
such a professional
was eating a banana or something,
Well, the ham and cheese croissant. I mean, that's like a classic breakfast. But it doesn't matter what order you have it. But thanks for sharing. Right. Anyway, those were our breakfasts. After our breakfast, we move to our breakfast in bed apologies. This is our chance to make right what we might have gotten wrong on a previous episode. It's frequently the first time we talk about the NBA, which the show is ostensibly about. Dave, you're a guest. I guess apology is optional. Chuck, do you have anything you need to make right?
So at the beginning of the season, we were talking about, players who could possibly do a Jacques watch. And in my,
which is, by the way, miss your first 22 shots of the season. If anyone's a new listener, anyway, go ahead. Chuck.
Right. And in my, I don't know this guy yet. I kind of don't know if I want him on my team, kind of early exuberance. I said, well, PJ Tucker might miss 21 in a row at some point.
Sure. Yeah.
No, we're halfway through the season. Homie's leading the league in 3-point percentage, 47% from three. He's kind of like the reason they don't miss Bam. Like he's like kind of the assist hub from the power forward position. And he plays well with other bigs, with Dedmon, with Yurt. He looks incredible. And he has this weird floater that I didn't even know he could shoot. I thought he was just stand in a corner and do nothing. And Spoelstra's unlocked a type of PJ Tucker I've never even knew existed.
You got to see some of his footage from Europe, man. PJ Tucker,
back when he was playing in Ukraine?
He was a bucket, man.
Yeah.
Now he's in the NBA because he figured out his role and what he can be excellent at, right? He's not as good at that stuff, but he can still do it.
Yeah.
His last 5 games, he's averaging almost 13 points per game, which for him is insane.
It's an incredible.
His last 10 games, same thing. He's at 54.5% from three on 2.4 makes per game, averaging 12.9 points per game. This is the most points per game he's averaged since 2015. And before that, it was the Ukraine, like I just said. Yeah, I'm amazed, Chuck. This is a guy who I think in the finals and in the playoffs for the Bucks, I was one of those thinking man, they got to free Bobby Portis. Who cares if PJ Tucker's there? Who cares if he leaves? And now, I make fun of your Heat culture. It looks like he got some of that culture, and it's been treating him right.
I think it's one of those things where it was the situation called him. He shouldn't be playing 30 plus minutes a night at his age, and Bam coming back will be good for him. I don't know if it's reasonable to watch him play that much for the rest of the year, but he's been my favorite non-Tyler Hero Heat player this year.
All right. So since you mentioned it, we got to give, I need a hero watch update for the season. I bet Chuck that Tyler Hero would average under 18 points per game. It's basically over. In the last week, I mean, he only averaged 20 points per game, but for the season, 20.6 points per game. Mm-hmm. If he plays roughly 35 more games, he only needs to average 14.5 points for the rest of the season to get there. So it's the mayonnaise bath is happening. I
gotta say, Keith, you lost the bet because you didn't go points per weighted shot or something like that, right? The guy's coming off the bench and he's the only dude that can do anything. It's hey, here's
I don't understand the green light they've given him.
What do you think he's gonna do?
They just let him do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Chuck, what's his field goal percentage in the last 10 games? Just guess.
Pull apart. 41%.
No, 38.
30. I was going to say it's 30, 36, 37%.
The guy averages 20 points per game on 20 shots per game. How does anyone have this green light?
It's reps. He needs the reps. They believe in him. And he's in his perfect position.
It's not even that. It's not even that. It's who the hell else is going to take the shots, Keith?
Well, they have all these
Max
dudes.
Strus.
Well, now they got Yurt.
Caleb Martin, Max
Feed
Strus.
Yurt.
Duncan Robinson has now been benched. Like he's coming off the bench.
Yurt as the offensive hub for your bench unit is going to be excellent.
I don't know what they're going to do with him when Bam comes back.
He's too good. Play him together.
Oh,
he has
towers.
Surprisingly little touch for a big man. Like
he's
so bad at scoring so close to the goal.
I don't know.
Like somebody playing with two frying pans.
I think he's just like very excited. Like he gets the ball, but Kyle puts it right in his hands, right by the rim, and he's so excited. He's like, "Ooh, what do I do?" He is
like a golden
rookie.
retriever that won't jump into a lake. It's too great. This is going to be too awesome. I can't do it. Is that
I
what
stay here with you?
So I was thinking about Tyler Hero and what his like most improved player campaign could possibly be, but then I got derailed. His field goal percentage this year is lower than his career average. He's just gunning. He just has the ultimate green light, and he's destroying me on this bet, which I've absolutely lost. He's going to average 20 points per game for the season. Anyway, Dave, is there something like a prediction or anything that you want to get involved with on this apology thing?
I've got an apology.
Okay.
And it's to Joel Embiid. We talked about him the other day on Nerder, and I didn't bring him up. Mo did. Truth is, what Embiid's done in the last month kind of just has snuck under the radar. Sixers are 10-4. They lost today.
Yeah.
In the last month. 32 points a game, 10 rebounds, 4.5 assists on 53, 36, 83 shooting splits with the level of defense that he plays. And he's the only guy, guy on his team. And they've been fantastic. They are legitimately, I think, a player away from where you've got to say, okay, man, Milwaukee could have issues if they have to play the Sixers. Now, I don't know who that guy is. Like if they could trade for Damian Lillard, okay, yeah, you got to stew, especially if he comes back healthy from this ab issue.
Yeah.
But Embiid is the reason that they're even anywhere close. This dude look, Jokic is having a historical season. Historical. I don't know. But he's having he's having a crazy season. And if you're giving out like the Alex Rodriguez version of the MVP where, hey, look, injuries have happened to everyone. We understand, it's a heavy lift for him and they don't score when he's not on the court. They're just awful without him. I get it. But the Sixers aren't any good without Embiid either.
Yeah. So,
and he doesn't get nearly the amount of credit. And I've been a part of that. So I apologize for not talking about Joel Embiid enough.
So Joel Embiid has 11 straight road games, scoring at least 30 points. That's the fifth longest streak in NBA history. Behind
he scores exactly 31 points 5 games in a row. I mean, he has been remarkably consistent. He is average. I mean, he scored 32 today. He scored 32 in their last game. He scored 32. I mean, he is at 31.8 points per game or 31.9 or whatever points per game in their last 15 games or 14 games. And I mean, this guy has just been the model of consistency when he's been out on the court for them this year. And it's gone under the radar.
So while we can recognize what Embiid has done, it's been great. I would say as an unbelievable Jokic stan, if you swapped teams, if you gave Jokic, Tobias Harris and Seth Curry and I don't know, Maxey and Ty Bull and Danny Green, I think they'd be doing a lot better. Poor Jokic. He played a perfect game on Sunday. He played a perfect game against the Jazz and they lost by 20. They had a positive plus minus when he's on the court. They've gotten swept by the Jazz this year where they're 0-3 against them. Ryan Blackburn pointed this out. The Nuggets are 0-3 against the Jazz. Jokic is averaging a triple-double, shooting 65% from the field, and has a positive plus-minus. They just get destroyed when he comes off the court. He's shooting 8 percentage points better than Embiid, 56.6% to 48.6%. Averages more points, more rebounds. Double
I'm not
the assists.
saying. Hold on. Now,
Poor
Jokic.
Jokic. No. I'm giving you credit. I'm just turning it into a glorification of my
yeah.
player who I like. That's
Right.
that.
Yeah.
You listen to this show. You know how this works.
I know how it works. I can't believe you didn't say that the Sixers didn't play anybody in the last 15 games.
I mean,
I can't. Well, did you look at who they played? Look, I've been holding on to this one for a while. Look, we could have a year where any team but Memphis goes 82-0, and Keith would be like, "Well, did you see who they played?"
I'm sorry. You're going to need to dial that back. The Grizzlies just stomped the 1 seed in the East like 5 minutes ago. No, I got someone to apologize to. You know, if the Sixers trade for somebody, we talk about Damian Lillard, we talk about CJ McCollum. Why don't you just trade for a guy named Anthony Simons? Anthony Simons on the Trailblazers. This is a guy who I remember years ago on the show. He's another one of those guards who we add to the category of we can no longer judge 18-year-old, 19-year-old shooting guards in the NBA their first year, because you never know. The Terry Roziers, the Jordan Pooles, the Javon Carters. Oh, that one was right. I'm sorry. He's actually right. But like Anthony Simons, so Lillard's out with the apting. CJ McCollum, his lung got collapsed. He's been missing his games. Anthony Simons has filled in over his last 5 games. He's averaging 28.5 points per game. He's averaging over 8 assists per game. He's making over 5 3-pointers per game. His shooting splits are 51, 46, 91. The Trailblazers, that's over the last 6 games, actually. They've won 4 of those games. They've won 3 straight. They're playing the Magic right after we get done with this recording. Hopefully they don't fall on their face against the Magic, but like it looks like the Trailblazers are playing great. This guy's been on fire. I made fun of him again years ago about Trailblazers fans being like, hey, we can't trade Simons. You know, like we can't trade Simons. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Just who cares? Trade him. But now this guy has actually.
That's why you made fun of him?
Yeah.
Not for calling him Penny?
Well, you can't be Penny. Everyone can.
Yeah.
There's only
you
one.
Can't.
You can't
Sorry,
be Penny.
Yeah. That, that's a bridge too far.
It is a bridge too far. But I think, man, like either Trailblazers, now this has us given them permission to blow it up just by seeing Simons go off for a while.
Well, who's going to blow it up? This guy is, the GM.
They don't have
not the GM.
Yeah, and they might sell the team, and it's tough. It's tough.
Listen, so who's going to blow it up?
Adam Silver? I don't know. He doesn't have that power. But anyway,
I don't think you can tank in Portland, right? Like, I just don't think you can.
You could. I think you could do a tasteful rebuild.
You could do one now. Yeah. You could. You
understand the season's over right now. Tasteful
if you
rebuild. Could
get Ben Simmons, that's not a tank. Even if he sat out for the rest of the year. Even if he was just like, hey, I got to take the rest of the year off. You get a better draft pick. You've got Ben Simmons in the fold. And
I think the only person that could blow up Portland is Dame. And maybe Simon's playing the way he's going. He's like, hey, look, I'm leaving you in good hands.
Are we still all pretending like Damian Lillard wants to stay in Portland?
That's what I have no idea.
I don't know.
I don't understand why we're doing this.
All he ever says is yes.
Yeah. I mean, know. But still, it's also like, I mean, I don't know. They
have players.
It's like when GMs are saying, no, this guy's we're not going to trade this guy. Okay, sure.
I mean, McCollum, Norm Powell, and Ben Simmons, as you said earlier, you got a stew going.
That's
really good. You're fine. You're fine.
Yeah.
Maybe, and you can restock your
Nurkic is expiring.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and you're telling me a team wouldn't want to pick up Nurk for the playoffs?
I mean, free Cody Zeller? Come on now. Anyway, those were our breakfast in bed apologies. Before we get to our steak and egg best things, I got a couple of words from our sponsor, the red hot Memphis Grizzlies. Welcome to the dark. Send Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. and the Memphis Grizzlies to the NBA All-Star Game. Vote daily on NBA.com, the NBA app, or through Twitter. You decide who gets to shine. Visit grizzlies.com/all-star today. Also, if you want game day deals when you're attending a Memphis Grizzlies game, sign up for Buzzer Beaters. Text Buzzer Beater to 833-550-0028 to opt in for discounts to your next home game. Get tickets, get hyped, and save with Buzzer Beaters. Visit grizzlies.com/buzzerbeater for more information. All right. Steak and eggs, best thing. What's the best thing you saw in the last week? Dave, what's your best thing?
Dude, this one's right in your wheelhouse.
Oh, yeah?
Okay. So Jaylen Noel.
Yeah.
Got called for a foul by Scott Foster.
Mm.
He goes, "That's a foul?" Scott Foster says, "Yeah, that's a foul every day of the week here. That's a foul every day of the week."
I got to get the audio clip, Dave, because it's so loud. It's like
perfect.
Scott Foster's yelling into a courtside mic.
Right.
I mean, he says, "Yes, it is."
It was like
every day of the week. And then he amplifies, "That's a foul every day of the." Yeah, it was.
Were they filming a movie?
It was ref moment. It was Billy Crystal and Forget Paris. It was
Paris.
It was ref moment. We had a lot of referee action in the past week, and it was a good one.
It was awesome. So that was my favorite thing. And I only because I always think about you when I see good ref stuff. Like, that's good ref stuff. Usually when you see ref stuff, like, if I see a ref, it's bad.
Right.
That's the only time I see him.
Right.
And I've told you, like, I didn't actually realize it was Scott Foster
that
had said it. Yeah. Well, I don't know who any of the refs are. I don't care.
Well, Scott Foster's famous because
I know. Yeah,
he called Tim Donaghy over and over and over. Or slash Tim Donaghy called him.
I don't care about that.
Yeah,
but I just don't care. But yeah, I think about you with the ref stuff. So yeah, that was my favorite thing. I thought it was pretty fun.
Well, I appreciate you.
Yeah, I thought it was fun.
Thinking of me,
you know, it's like baseball when the guys give you a little extra on a strikeout or block charge, you know.
Or if you do the block charge in the guy's face when the guy gets dunked on, and then you do the block and you like tower over.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little bit of taunting.
That's a good one.
We've had some issues with taunting in the NBA the last couple of days.
Refs should taunt guys for trying to draw charges on dunks.
Man, so the Grizzlies haven't drawn a charge in like a month, and it's one of the reasons they're awesome. And there was a play in the Bulls game that was a fast break where like someone kicked it over to Nick Vucevic too far out. Whereas like this is an obvious offensive foul in any other team, but no Grizzlies player, they're like, no, we don't do that. And they just let him make the
honest
layup.
basketball.
It was honest basketball. I felt so good. I felt so proud of this team. I honestly wonder, I'm gonna have to ask someone at some point, do they talk about it?
I like to think that it's because of me.
Oh, you think so?
No, I don't think so, but I'm going to think
you hope so
because I hate the charge so much.
They're saying it's a dangerous play. Let's not do it. Let's be the change you want to see in the world.
That's right, man. Also, look, man, your own guy, you're the one that's more likely to get hurt.
Yeah.
The guy's going to fall on good. You.
Yeah.
Like, dummy. Yeah. Come on, man. Don't be dumb.
As the proud
to play a kid's game. Don't
as
get
a
hurt.
proud lifelong Kyle Lowry fan, 4 decades I've been a fan of Kyle Lowry. I resent this conversation.
So you know who leads the NBA in teams who lead the NBA in drawn charges? It's your filthy Miami Heat. They don't play
Culture,
the right
baby.
way.
It's gritty.
They don't play the right way.
They've taken over 70. The Grizzlies have taken 4.
Imagine if you had a group of buddies.
Not one in a month. Yeah.
Imagine if you had a group of buddies who played pickup and somebody showed up with, it could be your best friend, brought him along. That guy starts going out there drawing charges. No, man. Relationship over.
You're not getting in that text.
Well, it's like, it's the whole thing. When I'm back on a fast break, I want to block a shot. I want to get a steal.
Yes.
I want to stop somebody. This
That's
is like,
why I love Danny
I'm
Green.
going to stop here and have someone crash into me. That's terrible.
Yeah, Jaron Jackson.
Nightmares.
Jaron Jackson going to the Danny Green School of Transition Defense.
Oh, yes.
Right? Yeah.
Oh,
fantastic.
So good. Chuck,
Grizzlies are so good.
They're so, you know what? That's just my best thing. The Grizzlies are amazing.
They're amazing.
The Grizzlies are amazing.
And they can't shoot.
How are they so good?
I don't know.
They'd be the 1 seed in the East. It doesn't make any sense. I watched every Grizzlies game twice over the last 3 years. I don't know how they're so good. They beat everyone. Rules.
Well, Keith, while you go,
what's your best thing, Chuck? Sorry,
your tumescence is showing. I'm going to talk about Franz Wagner and how he doesn't care about who you are in the NBA. He comes right after you. He's pulling from the 50-cent book of how to make a name for yourself. He's going after people. He's screaming in Luka's face after Jalen Suggs takes a like a charge or what. I don't even know what happened, but I saw him screaming at Luka and Luka getting very angry. I've seen him get headbutted by Giannis. All of these things excite me because I don't know if I would care about Franz Wagner. Otherwise, I know he's a rookie and all you hipster cool, like you should know who he is, guys. I get it, but I got time for 8 mile walks.
Yeah, you got
finding
miles
out
to
who
walk.
Franz Wagner is.
Yeah,
but now I know who he is, and he's done the right thing. That's why I like him, and that's why it's the best thing for me.
I'm so annoyed. I'm filling out my Fastbreak Breakfast bingo card.
Yeah.
And I did not have a 50 Cent reference. I had Kanye or Drake. And I'm so annoyed, Chuck, that
do a
Franz
shot.
Wagner is
It could
good.
be a drinking game.
It's funny when people start talking about Franz Wagner and they go, no, he's legit good. It's like, yes. Yeah. Okay. It's so unbelievable to me that this guy would be good at basketball. I wonder why.
Here's another, this could be another
Franz. That's why
another best.
That's why people,
surprised.
that's why he snuck up on you. Cause his name is Franz.
I got a second steak and eggs, and it's that the Wagner boys have been unleashed. Mo's been getting some run recently. Mo's been putting on some stats.
Mo can play, man.
Mo's a great, pretty good, okay backup offensive center.
I think he could be a connector center off the bench, right? Like you just can't he's not going to anchor your bench defense, but he can pass well enough. He shoots well enough. He does everything fine. Like he'll play 10 years in the NBA if he wants.
Yeah.
I mean, because I think people like him too. That's half the battle.
Also, now he's got a younger brother who can ball.
Well, who's really good.
So that
he's gonna have
that might help.
Yeah.
Little networking contract for maybe Mo Wagner getting handed out sometime in the future. Anyway, those were our steak and eggs best things. The opposite of the steak and eggs is the cream of wheat worst thing. What's the worst thing you saw in the last week? Chuck, what's your worst thing?
Well, my worst thing does have to do with the charge taken. And I know this is a copycat league, and I think Steve Nash might be playing Galaxy Brain basketball. Whispers Bruce Brown's ear, hey, maybe if we could get Durant hurt for a little bit, we can drop in the standings and we can have 4 road playoff games every round of the playoffs.
Oh no!
Bruce, go after it.
You're implying this. You're saying, is this a conspiracy?
It's like a Nancy Kerrigan.
Yeah, a little Tanya Harding, Nancy Kerrigan. Steve Nash is like, listen,
is he the baton?
He's the baton.
Yeah. They're like, we need to knock over. You know what? Durant won't turn it down. I had to sit down with Durant. I said, listen, it's not bad if we drop in the standings. And Durant's like, no, I'm playing 38 minutes per game. I'm a hooper. And then they did what they had to do. Steve Nash is like, this is not going to work. Sean Marks is like, don't worry, I'll take care of it.
He made a call.
Look, and the next thing you know, someone is crashing into Durant's knee. He's going to be out for several weeks. And that
someone has been in and out of the lineup, not been getting a lot of minutes, maybe a little wink, wink. I see where you're coming from, Chuck. But, Occam's razor says that it's most likely that just a dangerous ass play resulted in a guy getting hurt.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to make it simple, then probably I see your point.
I don't have time for complicated. I would be an awful conspiracy theorist because I would give up after I got bored in about 20 seconds. So, yeah.
Also, conspiracy theories have been ruined by the current political climate.
Yes, that's
They're
true.
no longer fun. Not fun anymore.
Fun. Yeah. When was the last time you heard an Area 51 rumor? Can I have one of those?
Not fun anymore. Yeah.
I mean,
I liked it when it was fun.
Yeah. I mean,
now it's like, wait, is the CDC actually trying to kill everybody? It's not fun anymore.
No.
Dave, what's your worst thing?
I mean, it's just everybody's getting hurt. Everybody's tired.
Man.
Steph,
listen,
man, we're living in a day and age where, granted, we live in a bubble. It's almost a cocoon. And we watch these guys who, they're living a upper crust existence. And yet they look exhausted and I'm feeling bad for them. I mean, you saw Steph Curry like running around. I mean, he just looks, these guys are out of legs. The change in style of play, fewer fouls, fewer reviews. And I mean, these guys, it's a lot of games. And this is where the crush of the season starts to hit them usually anyway. And then when you add on all the health and safety stuff where guys are kind of in and out, and I think conditioning is probably across the league not where it ought to be. Kind of a bummer. Everybody getting hurt, and just it feels like we're going into what could be some of the worst basketball that we've seen in a little while.
Also, congrats to the league's coaches on cresting at 57% have now had COVID. We're now at 17 of 30 entered the health and safety protocols. No, Dave, you say these 60 minutes. What is it?
Let me ask you. Okay, you guys watched the first quarter of Grizzlies Bulls today.
Yeah.
Did they change the lunch? Like, did they get a special lunch today? Because I mean, the first quarter of that game was awful. Now, it was an early start.
The Bulls and Grizzlies early games, also their offense is behind their defense. And, the Grizzlies were trying some different lineups.
I just think it's that time of year.
It might be that time of year. Also, I think that maybe the Grizzlies, one of the reasons they have regular season success is they keep their minutes low. They don't play players over 30 minutes per game. They play 10 guys every night, no matter what, where you see the Nets where Harden and Durant are playing the most minutes in the league. You see the Lakers where LeBron's some of the most minutes in the league. Some of these teams, maybe younger teams, have decided, or maybe it's just more forward-thinking front offices are just saying, like, listen, even if we lose a couple games, we're not overextending our players. We're going to monitor their workloads constantly, and that might in the long run work out with more regular season success.
A lot of Spurs connections in Memphis.
Yeah.
Right. Makes sense.
I think in the future, if I meet like somebody told me that they played in the NBA, I would normally be like super impressed. But now I'm going to have to ask them what year. Right? Like, what year did you play? Okay, cool.
My worst thing. It happened nearly a week ago. It involves one of my personal arch enemies, Devin Booker. Now, Devin Booker was playing a game in Toronto where there are no fans in the stadium. The Raptors mascot, not the inflatable 30-foot tall mascot, which I will admit, if that mascot was trying to intimidate you and distract you, that maybe is a bit too much. But it was a normal human-sized guy in a Raptors costume who was jumping up and down as the only fan in the entire arena. And Devin Booker was like, this is distracting. That guy needs to go sit, or girl, needs to go sit over there in the corner while I shoot the free throws. And the officials consented to this. They said, fine. Can you imagine Larry Bird asking the referees to go, hey, that mascot's jumping up and down and it's distracting my free throw routine.
Man, I wish John was here.
Yeah, me too.
Because Devin Booker, superstar on the road, he pulled off the greatest heel move ever. So the referee did not have to listen to him. So don't blame Devin Booker for wanting to remove his opponent's advantage, right? Now, hold on, right? Like, let's be honest here. Devin Booker might foul. He's not going to call his own. You wouldn't want him to call his own. This is just Devin Booker giving himself an opportunity here. The referee did not have to listen. Could have told him to do nothing. Now, on the other hand, also, this is not like a fan. This is a team employee.
Yes.
All right. So what if Nick Nurse ran up in the stands? Now, to me, the solution was not actually to ban the Raptor. The solution is when you go to Toronto, bring the suit, and a guy who's not playing, maybe an assistant, has to put on your team's mascot and go to the other end. And now it's actually becomes a part of your team strategy. Which, are you going to get a coach who's just really good at being a mascot? I don't know, man. This could be a whole new thing. So this is just, this is something I talk about in my advanced analytics group chat. We're trying to.
Dave, you actually unwrapped part of this. That's like a second layer of thing I hate. It is my double worst thing because Devin Booker was so self-aware about being the heel. He naturally is a heel. It oozes from him. People dislike him just based on his appearance. That's not right. I'm not saying that's right.
Smirk.
I'm just saying,
he's
got that smirk. He's really good. The fact that he owned it, they became aware about it. He changed his social media to talk about it. He had a whole thing. He's like, oh, I'm going to be a villain. I don't like it when the villains acknowledge they're the villains. It's no longer fun to be now.
I mean, okay, so again, I got to go back to wrestling. I mean,
I'm not a wrestling guy. That's the problem. Yeah.
But you understand, the bad guys in movies have to cheat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Take charge.
They do it overtly. It's why, like every Bond villain, let me tell you my evil plan, because I got to make the audience
in front of the player as he dunks.
Yeah. Devin Booker, look, I'm a big fan. I'm more of a fan of Devin Booker now after this than I was before.
Yeah, I don't like it when they acknowledge what they're doing. What's your idea, Chuck?
I didn't see him shush, so we don't know about his shush. If he's got a good shush, he may be the top heel in the NBA.
So I think we could do something with this, and the next time they play Phoenix at home, it could be give the entire arena a mascot costume night, and everybody is dressed as the Raptor, and then you could do a workaround where that is basically your COVID protection.
I was going to say you do the COVID Barney masks, because that's their mascot is Barney.
Speaking of COVID masks, have you guys worn your mask for warmth yet? Just for it's like so cold outside. You're like, I'm putting a mask on. I don't.
It was 16 degrees that I did
this is
that.
warming my face. This is
20. I wear a buff all the time, so I always have that.
Could we send someone to a Phoenix Suns game in a Raptors costume? Are you? I assume. Are you allowed to wear costumes? Is that a security risk to have a mask on? Because I would pay money to send someone to a Suns game to wear the Raptors mask on.
Feels like the Raptors should, when they go, they should bring it.
They should,
right. And if you're the Suns, and by the way, I know everybody loves to applaud team social media accounts, which I normally don't pay attention to. I will say, Phoenix is one of the teams that does do fun stuff like that. So I wonder if their front office might see a little bit of a fun thing that they can do with Toronto, right?
Maybe. Yeah, I mean,
it'd be fun.
Also, the Suns are awesome.
I'm team fun. The Suns are.
They are.
Look, man, they're a win machine. It's crazy.
They don't need DeAndre Ayton.
They don't need anybody.
Just give me a tall guy. It doesn't matter. Just give me a
Booker
tall guy.
was out. It'll
be fine.
We'll keep going.
Yeah, Booker wins Player of the Week. In the same week he does this, it's terrible. Lack of awareness from the league office.
Player of the Week.
Gross.
I love it. It's super self.
Yeah.
Next thing you're gonna want, he's gonna say, "Oh, okay, opposing players can't do a free throw routine." Well, it gets them in a rhythm.
I'm still just stunned that it went out. It's not like the Raptors was saying, like if the Raptors mascot was saying something inappropriate, okay. He was jumping up and down.
He's doing mascotty things.
Yeah, maybe you're right, Dave. I need to blame the game officials.
It's the referee's
fault. That is not Devin Booker's
purview. The only time the ref is involved is bad things. That's it.
Yeah. All right. Those were our worst things.
Change the referee outfits to green and let's green screen them out. And that way, the only time I have to see them is
floating heads.
Stop in the game.
All right, those are our worst things. Before we get to the awards segment of the program, we have a couple of listener submitted questions. The croissant questionnaire. DeBall Zach asks,
I always do too.
Should the Grizzlies go all in?
What does that mean?
No.
The answer is obviously no.
No.
Like they should not trade away Melton for help this season. They should not trade away their 6 first-round picks in the next 3 seasons for help this year. No, they should not go all in.
They're a contender.
But they are a contender.
Yeah.
But I assume they're not going to be a buyer. They're not going to be a buyer where you trade away to get short-term help. You might be in the situation where you turn down like light offers for your expiring contracts of Kyle Anderson and Tyus Jones. So you might turn on those things, and maybe that's sort of buying, but you're not sending out, I think, positive assets. But I'm going to twist DeBall Zach's question into which teams should be going all in right now.
I mean, the Warriors are the first.
The Warriors, yeah, absolutely.
It's frustrating, right? Like when you watch this team and you look at the ages of their best players and you're okay, well, now what? And then you see, they've lost Draymond for a little while and you see how bad they are without Draymond. And it's not that they're awful, but they're not the best team in the league.
Yeah, they're just not elite. Yeah,
they're like the 5th or 6th seed though. Like they're getting run by Memphis in a series if they don't have Draymond Green.
Say it again.
Facts.
just loop it.
Like,
just loop
so
it.
like you're like the Heat should go all in. Well, they have no future to hold out for.
So I mean, they're in that weird place where they
not getting you
window with Jimmy. Yo,
start over if you get on that.
You cut out.
I didn't get any of that.
my bad.
It's
I
fine.
paid extra.
It's all good. It's all good. Just start from the beginning on the Heat.
Okay. Well, Miami's in that weird place where they like have the future on the roster, but they also have a win now window with Jimmy and Kyle and those guys. So like I would ship out Duncan Robinson. I'm saying that now. For whatever you could get for him now. He is a giant
I believe
contract.
his stonks is down.
Oh, we wouldn't.
We did not sell that.
Somebody might want
at the right spot.
But
did anyone
like
cash in on the bubble better than him?
Oh man,
I mean,
what did he sign? 19 million a year.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he's gotten
he's
gotten passed by Max Strus. Yeah,
he's a shooter. Shooters get paid, man.
But Kyle and Jimmy are never going to be better than they are this year. Every year for the future is going to be a step down, I assume.
Right, and this is you're maxed out with PJ Tucker.
Yeah, I mean
the other thing is, I don't know. I think a consolidation, shipping out, unless somebody like Brad Beal shows up. I'm not. I want to keep Tyler and
you wouldn't trade you wouldn't trade Tyler Hero for a good player.
Come on now.
What would you give up for Donovan Mitchell?
Ooh,
what could they give up?
I don't think. I mean, it starts with Hero and Duncan Robinson, and then when are you going to add some talent?
Yeah. I can't imagine. Right? I can't imagine what they don't have any. They don't even have second round picks because of collusion.
Look, the Miami Heat folks thinking they're going to trade for someone. It's gotten to like the Lakers.
I'm good riding with this team. I don't even know what this team will look like. I forgot. It's been so long since everybody's been together. I don't know.
So the Jazz, Dave, you talked about them trading. The Jazz should go all in because you got Mike Conley right now. I feel like he's old. I know it's kind of weird because like Donovan Mitchell is younger, but I do feel like they're a little bit pot committed with the trades they made to get Conley, the trades they made to get Jordan Clarkson, where it seems like if they had to trade a future first round pick to improve this season, I assume they're going to.
I think they would. I mean, this is probably the last run for this group.
Yeah, it seems like it. I mean,
Ingles is expiring.
Ingles is kind of falling apart.
Conley's old,
having a bad year. The Suns, I think the Suns, they're in the same situation where you got Ayton, Bridges, Cam Johnson, Devin Booker. Those four guys are incredible and all very, very young. But then possibly your most important player, Chris Paul, very, very old. They're in a weird spot. I'm more of the thought where if you're like clearly one of the four best teams, just go. Right. What, like trade away stuff.
Here, let me ask you this. Okay. Cause it's trade season and we all keep thinking this, but if everyone's trying to buy, okay.
Yeah.
The only team that actually has capital for real to beat everyone is Oklahoma City. Right?
They do.
So
they could put together the best package. Yeah.
And when you consider the teams that are going to be sellers, they're going to want what Oklahoma City has. Oklahoma City has an opportunity here to sneak in to create deals where they don't exist and to enrich themselves in the process.
Well, what are the Thunder going to enrich themselves with? Because basically they're the Fallout character whose bags are full. To mention,
they're the banker who's just been stealing from
Fallout
the bank
again.
Monopoly.
Like they have 9 first-round picks in the next 3 years. They can't put that many players on their roster. I think they should. I've always been like the Thunder need to have a budget where they say we have to spend a first-round pick or 2 every season on something, on just adding something because they lose their value. But
they draft well too. They do
draft pretty well. I just wonder if is someone going to pay for a Gary Harris? My guy Garris has been awesome, and he's kind of rebuilt himself. And the Magic are going nowhere. Does Gary Harris fit well on one of these teams? I mean, I'm trying to think of the other all-in teams or the Nets, of course.
Because he's probably playing too well to be a buyout guy.
Yeah, I mean, I assume the Magic wouldn't want to buy him out because he's been so good.
Yeah, he would be an after deadline buyout if it was going to be one.
Yeah, I think that might be the full list of all-in teams for me. I guess the Lakers, but they don't have anything to give again.
Yeah, they have nothing. You're right. The Sixers, Nets, Bucks, all the usual suspects. I don't think the Grizzlies. I mean, again, man, it's just you've got the youth. What do you need that you don't have a young version of it, right? Yeah. It's going to get better, and you're not in a rush.
I mean, the one thing would be if you wanted to, does Dylan Brooks and 4 first-round picks get you Jaylen Brown or something?
Yeah,
right.
And then I don't know.
Yeah.
Because that is an option. You mentioned teams that have the capital to trade for.
Sure,
it is the Grizzlies. They have all their picks and 3 extras, first round picks. So if they wanted to, so I guess that goes back to the top of a.
Are you saying Jaylen Brown's available?
Question. Inside sources. No, I have no idea. Let's do one more listener submitted question. Damon asks, and this one is pointed directly at me, but you guys feel free to answer. Damon says, Keith, if refs don't have discretion, how come assist recognizing finger points don't get technical fouls? This is in relation to Cade Cunningham getting ejected for the automatic. You pointed at someone, even if it was your own team, on the off chance you could have been taunting an opponent. The league throws Cade Cunningham for his second technical out. And again, he wasn't ejected for pointing. He picked up his second technical for pointing.
Right.
And that's why he got ejected. Damon makes a good point because we've heard that the officials want everything to be black and white. They don't want to use discretion. They don't want to make advantage calls. They don't want to have clear path calls be like, they don't want the right to ignore those calls. They want it to be written. That is a foul. Do not give us the leeway. Monty McCutcheon's line is don't give us any don't give us any slack because that rope you can get hung with. I believe that was his very colorful terminology.
Okay. So you have a classic problem of creating an issue where there isn't one. I'm sorry, man, but basketball is a trash talking sport.
Yes.
We all agree to this.
Fact.
You step between the lines. It's a part of the game that we all grew up with. And, hopefully it's all in good fun. I know I enjoy it and I'll take it as much as I'm going to give it. And every NBA player probably feels the same way. I just don't understand why we need to police it.
So
it's not an issue.
Devil's advocate, not saying I agree with this or
you worry about escalation. And
you obviously worry about the escalation. The other devil's advocate point would be if you go to the gross discussion of being role models and the fact that trash talking is not supposed to be a part of youth sports when the players are learning it. But if the NBA then starts glorifying the trash talking, doesn't that bleed over into youth sports and make that culture even worse than it already is? That's
at least you're learning from the best.
Yeah, there you go. And if you're entertaining, hey, it's like, no, son, you should point at him.
Listen, man, there's a lot of money to be made on Instagram.
You need to point at him. Oh, yeah. I know who runs Ball Don't Lie or Ball is Life. I can get this on Instagram. We'll get a lot of views. It'll be great.
Yeah.
All you got to do, point at his wee-wee when you score. Just
next thing, I would just want to host the trash talking clinics that the AAU kids would be going to.
Look, man.
That's the next level. It's not learn this NBA move. It's learn this NBA trash talk. Learn the filthy thing Desmond Bain said to LeBron.
Look, you can rock the baby.
Yeah.
Right. Which is way more disrespectful. If you score on me, you point at me. Okay. Yeah, you got me, man. And I got to come back down. Now, but if you back me down, like when Russell Westbrook makes one of his 38% inside 3 feet on a post up and he rocks the baby. I'm sorry, man, but
the truly wild thing
that should get a tech.
The truly wild thing is the fact that
I don't think any of them should get a tech. I hate technical fouls.
The league has created a list of these things.
I sound like a basketball libertarian here, by the way.
You are, Dave. You are a basketball libertarian.
Ron
Look,
Swanson.
I'm sorry. Here's the thing. Let me just straighten this out. I just have things to do, and referees stop me from doing something that's not this game. Like slowing it down. Yeah, that's right.
So what's funny, if Russell Westbrook posts up on a smaller guy, or Ja Morant posts up on a smaller guy and does the thing where he puts his hand down to his side saying he's too short, that's legal. That's currently legal. That hasn't been ruled out. But like Mutombo's finger wag, that has been adjudicated out of the game. It's just funny. We've come up with a list of these things. The Sam Cassell big balls dance, not a technical foul, but it is a $15,000 fine after the fact.
Right.
It's funny. We have this list of things in their punishment. I
wonder
the solution.
The size thing in particular, though.
Yeah.
You said that referees wanted it black and white. I wonder if Ja Morant were to do that to someone who was taller than him, if he would get a technical.
That's great. Yeah. Oh, okay.
You see? So as long as you're telling the truth, it's fine.
That could be the case. I just think it's funny. We have a list like point. That's a technical foul.
Point to the ceiling and wave.
Air punch and a referee technical foul. Wave your finger in a guy's face technical foul.
Air punch, but fist pump fine.
But again,
right.
Big balls dance bad, but you'd fine, but not a technical foul.
It's bad after the fact.
You could do a gun shooting motion, but you'll get fined, but you won't get a technical foul. But
you can blow the gun.
But you could do you could do a bow and arrow, the Jamal Murray blue arrow. That's okay. Arrows are, can you
primitive weapons? Can you do a muzzle?
A single loading
shotgun.
What about a trebuchet?
They wouldn't even know what that was.
They would have no idea. What is this motion? What is
that?
He's doing?
He's dumping boiled heated oil. And they're storming the battlements.
He's
pouring oil.
And now, yeah,
that actually would be a $15,000 fine. It wouldn't be. Technical. Great question, Damon. If you guys out there have a question that you want answered on air, you have to become a Patreon supporter. You do that at patreon.com/fastbreak breakfast. You can join our Slack channel. You can join our monthly Pickle Pick'em contest where the winner and biggest loser both receive a free t-shirt. So support the show. Do that at patreon.com/fastbreak breakfast. All right. It's now time for the awards segment of the program. The International Stackhouse of Pancakes, given each week to the worst performance in a box score. We got several honorable mentions. Alex Lynn, 2 for 13. Reggie Jackson and Bojan Bogdanovic. I was getting confused about the Bojan Bojangles. Bojangles Bogdanovic, 3 for 14. Lonnie Walker, 5 for 19. Fred VanVleet, 6 for 21. And James Harden, 7 for 22. Our 3 nominees for the worst performance in the week as they occurred chronologically. Russell Westbrook in a game that Chuck wanted to talk about where the Sacramento Kings game ops were mocking him. If you want more on that, listen to last week's episode with CJ Toledano. Westbrook in that game was 2 for 14, 8 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, only 1 turnover, and 3 personal fouls. Terry Rozier in a loss to the Magic. He was 6 for 23 from the field. 19 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 block, 1 steal, no turnovers, 1 personal foul. That's actually kind of just like a good game. Jimmy Butler against the Sixers in a big loss to the Sixers.
Big bad.
The Miami Heat were the first team to have 3 players go 1 or 9 or worse from the field, I believe.
And we were in the game until like 3 minutes left in the fourth. I don't know.
Close game. Yeah. Jimmy Butler in that game was 1 for 11. 8 points, 9 assists, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, 1 block, 1 turnover, 1 personal foul. So we got Westbrook, 2 for 14, 8 points, 12 rebounds. Terry Rozier, 6 for 23, 19 points, 8 boards. Jimmy Butler, 1 for 11, 8 points, 9 assists. Who had the worst game?
I think it was Jimmy Butler.
That's 1 vote for Jimmy. Chuck,
especially because it was against the Sixers, right? Like that one.
Yeah,
that has to sting.
It's important. It was a big game.
I think I know it's not in the box score, but I want to commemorate that Russell Sacramento game in Cold as Ice. And is that Journey? Who sings Cold as Ice? What
You're asking me a pop music question, and I don't know the answer to that.
That's not Journey.
Can I say something that is going to sound
Foreigner? Yeah.
I want to talk about the Kings making fun of Russell Westbrook because I don't like it. I don't like it. Really, and I know that I just said that this is like a trash talking sport.
Well, yeah,
but I think it's bad. Like I don't.
But is it different than the Raptor? It's game ups.
It is different.
Now we're talking about. We've already covered this on the show, Dave.
No, man, I don't know.
This is canonical. It's been covered.
I don't look. Let the fans boo. Let the fans make signs. Whatever. But when your team is, I mean, you're mocking a guy for a poor performance. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. I don't know that the team should do that.
What about a mascot? What if the mascot said
mascot's fine. Mascot's okay. That's because the mascot really is there. I don't know.
He's an avatar for the people.
I guess, but the Jumbotron is for the people. I don't know. I'm inconsistent. I'm a human being.
I'm gonna vote for Jimmy Butler.
He's awful.
So
bad.
Congrats, Jimmy Butler, winning. Chuck, did you just kind of resigned, make it unanimous?
Is he the worst? Is that the worst game that he's played?
He looked so bad.
Probably not.
I mean,
he's had a few.
He looked bad last year at times, but
yeah,
I don't know. It was rough.
Yeah.
Is that Tybal stuff, boy? He was chasing him.
Yeah. Tybal will get better soon. I know you're out for a week. Anyway, congrats, Jimmy Butler, on winning this week's International Stackhouse of Pancakes Award. It's now time for the Lethal Lottery, America's least favorite game show. Dave will be here playing for John. This is a season-long competition where Chuck, John, and myself try to pick the worst performer from the Thursday night TNT game using the International Stackhouse of Pancakes Negative Fantasy League scoring system. So what we do, Dave, is we draw a ball out of the what's that thing called, Chuck?
The Jock-o'-lantern.
We draw a ball out of the Jock-o'-lantern. Since John is not here and the Jock-o'-lantern is unavailable, we will go to wheelofnames.com once again. What's going to happen is we will pick a game. The Thursday night TNT games are Lakers Nets or Mavs Warriors. John lost last week, so Dave, you will spin first. You'll either get a silver ball for Adam Silver or a Stern ball for the David Stern ball. Your mission, Dave, is to pick the player who you think will have the worst game using, again, our negative scoring system. Or if you get the Stern ball, you can swap out a player, and then it gets very, very confusing. You can try to pick someone you think is going to have a good game and stick a loss with me or Chuck.
I love that you're like, then it gets confusing.
Yeah. If you're not confused, you're not paying attention.
Right.
We're going to spin right now. Silver or Stern. We're at wheelofnames.com. You have gotten a silver ball, Dave DUFOUR. First of all, you can pick the game. You want Lakers, Nets, or Mavs, Warriors?
I'm sorry. What day? Thursday? Tuesday?
Thursday night, TNT nationally televised games.
Thursday the 20th. I have Suns, Mavericks, and I have Pacers, Warriors.
All right, let me double check. Oh, good. Let's do that.
Yeah. Okay.
We're picking between Suns, Mavericks, and Pacers, Warriors. Which game would you like, Dave?
Oh man, let's do Suns, Mavericks.
Suns, Mavericks. Who will you select?
And I'm picking the person who will like shoot the worst, turn the ball over the most.
Yeah. And also, you're supposed to pretend like you know what's happening.
Oh. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out. Oh, it's got to be a Mav. It's going to be a Maverick.
Like Dorian Finney-Smith is a great.
Dorian Finney-Smith is.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going to say Dorian Finney. Actually, Tim Hardaway Jr.
Tim Hardaway Jr. is a love it. It's a roller coaster pick. It's
Tim
a very
Hardaway
good
Jr.
negative fantasy pick. Chuck,
Suns defense, man.
You are up next. We're spilling the wheel of names for you. We are spinning that wheel of names. We got a silver and a Stern ball in there. It is going to come up Stern. So now Chuck has the option of swapping out with whoever I pick or with Dave's selection of Tim Hardaway Jr. Who are you taking from that game, Chuck?
I'm going with Luka. I haven't done this yet where I picked a good player.
So Luka, he does have some up and down games. He puts together a lot of stats. Every now and then he'll throw up an 8 for 23. So you're going to have Luka. I am going to pick from Suns Mavericks. I want Jay Crowder. Give me Jay Crowder.
Ooh.
So Chuck, you have the option now of swapping out your Luka for either Tim Hardaway Jr. or Jay Crowder. Of course, if Luka ends up with the worst game, you get a double loss. If you decide to swap, I assume you have to swap, but
who's winning? Like, who's the worst right now?
I have no idea.
John's not here, so I'm gonna swap with Dave.
Yes, get John down again. I love it.
Wow.
So on Thursday night, John will have Luka Doncic, and he's gonna be cheering against him. Chuck, you'll have Tim Hardaway Jr. I will have Jay Crowder. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Par fadeaway, gentlemen. What things are we looking forward to in the coming week? Dave, what are you looking forward to, man?
Vacation. I'm out.
Oh, you're on vacation, baby. What are you doing?
Yeah, man. I'm going to hike. See if I can do 300 miles in the next 2 weeks.
Tell your Apple Watch, I'm going to walk 150 miles today.
I'm going to put it on a dog and just, no. I'm on vacation, which, by the way, conveniently timed for the doldrums, right? Leading into All-Star and all that stuff. So I'm looking forward to some time off and, listening to you guys when I'm up on the mountain.
That sounds perfect. Chuck, what are you looking forward to?
Bam Bam Bigelow, baby. We got our wrestling buddy, Dave DUFOUR here. And we're talking about Bam Bam Bigelow coming back tonight against the Raptors in like 7 minutes. I get to watch my boy Bam come back after 6 weeks. His hand healed fast. I'm happy to watch. I'm interested in see how he's going to get, enveloped into this Heat team that's kind of like doing well without him.
Yes.
See what happens, what the lineups look like, what they're going to close with. If they're going to keep Caleb Martin starting, or is Duncan Robinson going to get put into the starting lineup? Are they just going to spam those Bam pick and rolls with Duncan, see if get him fired back up again?
Need a Bam and Yurt connection.
What can Yurt teach Bam? That's what I want to know. What has Yurt picked up that he can show Bam?
How to get
about 15 the NBA
rebounds in a game. Yes.
Oh man, I'm looking forward to a few things. One, the continued little run of Klay Thompson. I know we talked about the Warriors being hurt. Steps out. Maybe he's coming back on Tuesday. Draymond's out for a while. Klay Thompson's returned, but he kind of came back as Avery Bradley, and I don't love that. And I liked my memory of Klay a little bit more. So I'm going to keep cheering for Klay to get his legs back under him, play a little bit better. Also, I'm excited about the Cam Reddish Knicks era. I loved how the Hawks traded Cam Reddish to get rid of the bad juju, just to get rid of the chemistry. And then, unfortunately, the game after they traded him, he was still there because the Knicks were in the building. The Knicks came to Atlanta. Cam Reddish was still there. The Hawks lost horribly. They still haven't won a home game since before Thanksgiving, but now they finally going to play a home game. They're playing one right now against the Bucks. Their first one without Cam Reddish in the building. It's not going well. By the way, maybe Cam Reddish is an evil talisman because the Knicks lost horribly in their first game. Now that they're out of the Hawks building with Cam Reddish, so that's just something.
He's a Horcrux.
That's just something I'm keeping my eye on. Anyway, Grizzlies fans, if you want to view the third best team in the NBA in style, get an exclusive suite night at the FedEx Forum. The 8-person suites start at $115 per ticket. You can enjoy a private single game suite plus parking with friends, family, colleagues, or clients. A limited number of the suite nights are available. So visit grizzlies.com/suites today before they are gone. Dave, thanks so much for coming on. You did an awesome job filling in for John. You guys out there, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can follow me on Twitter at Fastbreak Break. You guys are the best. Thanks for listening. And remember, breakfast is the most important thing.
What I love about this was the evil Dave DUFOUR. Like you're the Bizarro. I'm the Bizarro you. I'm fasting, and Dave ate the entire show.
Oh, well, but it's funny. It's because I hadn't eaten all day. I do time restricted eating just naturally. Yeah. But yeah, I was starving, and then I've got to record after this too. Yeah.
Have a good vacation, Dave.
That was good.
Oh,
yeah.
Man,
have a good vacation. Dave, thanks so much too, man.